Let's bring in our next guest, Letty Pingitore. Hello, how are you? Nice to see
How are
you.
you?
Letty, our South Valley real estate agent. How's it going in the South Valley?
Oh, it's going great. Things are moving. We're selling houses.
How long have you been selling houses?
Well, I've had my license since 2006. My original career was in law. I'm an attorney, a licensed attorney.
Are you still an attorney?
Yes, I am.
Do you still practice?
Well, I'm focusing on real estate because I really love real estate. And real estate involves laws and contracts, and I got the highest grade in contracts when I was in law school. So it's a win-win.
How does that help the buyer? You having that kind of experience?
Well, I mean, they know that I'm looking at it from a different eye, you know. I mean, there are many great agents out there, but I mean, not many of them are attorneys. So you've got that extra, you know, education, extra license. So that means I have two agencies looking at my performance and not just one.
So real estate contracts are tricky.
Yes.
Things can be written into them that you might overlook, and it might be in someone's benefit, not necessarily the buyer's. Is that correct?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question.
Well, what I'm saying is things can be slid in a little bit on those contracts because there's so much money coming in from all these different. Trust me when I say it can. Okay.
Whatever you say, Chuck.
I've seen it. Okay, I know what can happen in real estate transactions. Okay, and sometimes it's not always up and up. Okay, we will get off of that and start talking about the inventory of yours in Visalia and the rest of the South Valley. How are the houses? You got a lot of them?
Right. Our inventory has been low. So what that means is it's more of a seller's market. If there's, I don't want to get too complicated, but it involves days on market. But I did want to say one thing real quick, though. If it's a real estate transaction that involves me, it'll be ethical and up and up.
That's what I'm saying. You're there. You look out for them.
I like to say I'm your agent. You know, I look out for people. This is why I got into this business. So anyway.
And it's such a big purchase, having someone looking out for you is a good thing. Right there.
And that's the way I roll.
That's the way you roll. Okay, I had asked you a couple of weeks ago, I said, Letty, next time you're in, why don't you do this? Let's do some comparisons. Let's do some comparisons for how much people are paying in rent and how much of a house they could be living in for the same amount. You brought some graphs here with you. Why don't you tell me what they're all about? Okay.
Well, I've got two different graphs here. I'll go with the lowest one first. The rent for $900 a month. Okay.
That's pretty middle of the road right now. $900, right?
And believe it or not, in Visalia, I mean, a lot of homes go for much more than that for a house.
I'm sure apartments go for that.
Right. So. Anyway, what I did was, actually with the help of a lender partner of mine, we broke down that if you paid $900 a month, okay, over a year's time, it would be $10,800.
That's correct.
Okay, that's a year of rent. Okay, and then after 10 years, that's like over $123,000.
Wow.
Okay, now if you bought a house for $160,000, okay, in a year, you would have over $10,000 in equity, okay? And then at the end of the 10 years, you'd have over $91,000 in equity.
Instead of paying someone $123,000 to rent their apartment or home or whatever, in 10 years, you got $91,000 in equity.
Right. And then also, too, that's not even talking about the tax savings. I mean, the tax savings over 10 years could be over $11,000. So that's
we're in
huge.
the $100,000 range if you take the equity and the tax savings. Wow.
Right. So it just, and right now, the interest
you're
rate,
almost getting to the point where you're living for free here.
Good point, Chuck. I like that.
Really, because if you're at $100,000 after 10 years here, you've spent $123,000. You're almost there.
Right. That's true, and it's yours.
$2,300 a year in living.
You can't beat it. And I mean, the interest rates have been creeping up a little bit, but they're still very low. So this is the time to buy.
Last I heard it was about 4.25. That was the last. But the comparison that I have here, my sample, it has a rate of 4% and an APR of 5.257, but it's a little bit higher than that. Than
Do
the
the
4%.
rates go up in an election year?
You know what? You asked me that last time, and I'm sorry, but I forgot to research that.
Would somebody get back to me on that? Rates will probably go up after the debate tonight. Okay, so this is our $900. If you're paying $900 in rent, how much of a home does that buy? $160,000 home?
Right. That's the comparison for if it's $900 in rent versus 100, and if you were buying the house that was 160,000.
You can buy a $160,000 house for $900 a month. No.
Well, I was going to say that I don't have the the breakdown exactly, because remember there's principal and interest and all of that. So
Right.
that figure I do not have in front of me.
What is this one over here?
Now this one is for rent that's $1,250 a month, okay? And buying a house that's $200,000, okay? So I mean, same thing. I mean, after 10 years, you're paying like almost $172,000 in rent,
Wow.
okay? And then after 10 years, you have over $114,000 in equity.
Wow.
And again, the tax savings, which are like over $14,000. And I'm talking just federal tax savings. So it just makes sense to buy a house.
Right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Right now.
Are the prices going up on these houses?
They have been. It has
Steadily?
been steadily. I mean, not big jumps and leaps, but steadily they have been.
Okay.
Corey, our South Valley Keller Williams rep, always so good to see you. Thank you for
Good to
coming
see
down
you,
and
too.
giving everybody
A chance to see what they could buy with the rent they're paying.
And if they have any more questions, or if I can explain this better, just give me a call.
Okay.
559-281-4568.
And tell her you saw her right here on The Buzz. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stick around.